Today I will be working on clearing up some of the areas here surrounding the house. We have a lot of bush and vegetation that kind of clouds the view, and also we want to keep our fields open. So this is an important work, and I'm glad we can be doing this during winter time actually. I feel like kind of a genius for coming up with that idea. Because summertime, I'm guessing we're going to be very busy here on the farm, so there's not going to be a lot of time for this kind of work. So yeah, I want to have this all done by then. This is the area directly in front of our small cabin. And as you can see, I've already been working here for quite a bit yesterday. So I've got all of the bush lined up here, and I have to take that somewhere else. I just haven't figured out exactly where yet. And this is the large field in front of our house, between the house and the lake. And as you can see on the left there, we have a lot of bush and vegetation. So that's what I'll be doing today. I decided I might as well finish this small area just in front of the cabin before I head over to the big area, the goal for today. So wish me luck. The boring part is that in between sawing, I have to kind of clear out the area because the already sawed off branches, they get in the way. So I can't really see which ones are off and not. So I have to kind of pause and just pick them away. Like this one looks like it's standing up, but it's actually sawed off. Get very warm doing this. Our big 2-story porch on the back side of the house is in terrible condition. But right now it looks kind of rotten. The truth is, a lot of it can still be used. A lot of the wood isn't that rotten, it's quite dry. But of course the wood you see on the outside needs to be changed. Just a small side note since we were heading this way. This is how far I've come right now. So just a small area out of the great big one, all the way down to the water. I'm not sure if you can tell, but first time for me doing this was yesterday, so I'm not very used to it. This is beginner level, you know. And of course it's not that complex, but still there's some things that I am still quite unsure of. So, you know, what's bad for this saw? I'm not sure. I'm thinking I don't want to wind it up too much, like having it at that level all the time. More of a kind of like a wave motion. I've heard that you have to have kind of the movement in your hips and not so much your arms. So I do notice that my arms are getting kind of tired right now, so I'm guessing I'm not doing it perfectly, but yeah, we'll see. Hoping to have some improvement. I think another thing that shows that I'm at a beginner level is that I'm cutting them quite high up because I'm a bit scared to go too close to the ground. Victor warned me that the very worst thing that could happen is hitting a rock. So that's my nightmare. So as you can see, they're not cut directly by the ground. They're cut somewhere up here. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to regret that, because that means these ones can shoot new branches. Maybe they will be a bit stronger and a bit more resilient due to letting them, you know, keep some of their length. But these are just guesses, of course, so I guess we'll see when summer comes. One thing you probably don't know is that these woods that we own behind me, they consist solely of birch trees and aspen, and that makes them the perfect habitat for a certain type of woodchucker with a white back, some kind of special edition, you know. And those are very rare. There's only 20 pairs of them in Sweden in total. So we have one of those pairs here living in our woods. And on one hand, you know, that's something to be proud of. I'm a big nature lover. I love animals. And them choosing to live here in our woods is, of course, kind of cool. On the other hand, that means that I can't use these woods in any way. I can't take down my own firewood or anything because the nature forest preservation authorities in Sweden have allocated this area for those birds to live in. So, I mean, there's ups and downs. I like the birds, but I don't like that I have to agree to those things, like the authorities of Sweden having that kind of control over my land is, yeah, that sucks. So they paid the previous owner to sign that agreement, and it spans over 50 years. So, I mean, he had the farm for like the first 10 years of that agreement, and then he sold the farm to us. And we didn't get paid for this agreement, but we just had to kind of leave the forest alone for another 40 years. You can see those white markings around the trees, and that marks where the preservational area begins or ends, depending how you see it. I do enjoy the work. I have an office job, so I work with documentation, like technical documentation. I'm an engineer. But to be able to be out here and just kind of work with my hands and visually see the result, that's very satisfying. And then again, I know this will be, you know, an annual work to be done. All this vegetation is just going to grow back. But keeping these fields open and kind of serving the land, that just feels very rewarding to me. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Sweden, and the sun will set in probably less than an hour. So I'm thinking I'm gonna call it a day. And of course we're gonna update you guys on this part of the field and how fast the vegetation will regrow. And as I said, there's a lot of work to be done here. There's just so much to do with the house. The only part that does not have to be done is the roof. The roof is new, but otherwise everything needs to be constructed and renovated. So I hope you subscribe and tag along during this journey. We'll keep you updated, and thank you for watching.